Yeah, good evening everyone. Welcome to DFCCL exam preparation course. So today we will see part second of your general science. So if you recall, in the last class we already completed your first chapter, that is units. Okay. So today also we will solve few questions, basic questions of units, just for revision purpose, and then we will move to second chapter. Okay. So you have to also read the second chapter, that is your motion, through the Lucent book. As you already know, I will just tell you the summary, the important concepts I will discuss here, right? Not all the whole chapter I will cover. Okay, so let's start with the video. Okay, so see the first question. A distance of 1 kilometer means 100 meter, 1000 centimeter, 1000 meter, or 100 centimeter. So you already know that 1 kilometer means 1000 meter, right? The correct answer is C. Okay, see the second question. 1 picogram. Now see, here gram, this is fine, but this word is very important for us because we already saw the this units, right? The negative powers, then positive power, all the things we saw in the detail. So the meaning of pico you should know. That is, whenever there is a pico, say this is 10 raised to minus 10 means this is nano, this is micro. So 10 raised to minus 12 is your pico, right? Okay, so in comment section I want that what is the meaning of 10 raised to minus 15, or what is the name for this? Okay, in the comment section compulsory you need to answer. Okay, let's take the third number question. A barrel of oil is equal to which of the following? So just remember this, one barrel of oil is nothing but your 159 liter. Okay, one barrel of oil. How much? 159 liter. Okay, 1 nanometer is equal to, you already know, nano means your 10 raised to minus 9. Okay, so the answer is this, A only. Okay, now here you need to match the units with the quantities. So few things are there, that is high speed, wavelength, pressure, energy, and units are also there. Okay, so how you will answer this question? So see, now among this, the common thing, that is energy, you know, the energy unit is joule, right? Energy unit is joule. Pressure unit is also Pascal. Okay, and wavelength unit is meter also, and Armstrong also. Wavelength unit is meter, in meter also we measure, or in Armstrong also is there, and for high speed Mach is the unit. Okay, so this is the correct sequence only. This is your answer. So lots of units already you covered, okay, while reading, I guess, in the first chapter, so need to remember. Okay, but don't worry that in the we will use frequently all these terms throughout the physics, so there is no problem to remember all the things. Then 1 micro is equal to, now just observe this carefully, that 1 micro is equal to 1 upon 10 raised to 10 mm, 1 upon 100 mm, 1 upon 1000 mm, and 1 upon 10,000 mm. Okay, so how you will solve this? See, you know already that 1 micro is nothing but your 10 raised to minus 6. Now if you carefully observe the option 10 raised to minus 6, okay, meter. If you carefully observe, then definitely there is no option of this 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, here the options are in millimeter. The options are in millimeter, and now you know that millimeter is nothing but your 10 raised to minus 3 meters, right? 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So in that case, from this 10 raised to minus 6, okay, we will cut this 10 raised to minus 3, so it will become 10 raised to minus 3 millimeter now. Okay, that is 1 meter to millimeter I am converting first. Second, now I have 10 raised to minus 3, so I can write like this also, 1 upon how much? 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is your correct answer, 1 upon 1000 meter. So from meter you can go to millimeter, centimeter, okay, everything you can go, there is no issue. Centimeter you already know, 10 raised to means 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter, right? 1 centimeter is equals to 10 raised to minus 2 meter. Compulsory you need to remember. So like this, any combination they will ask you, okay, any combination they will ask you, just remember always that go from basic unit to conversion. Okay, see this question number 7. Which unit of measurement is multiplied by 0.39 to convert it into inches? Okay, now first thing we know that 1 inch nothing but your 2.54 centimeter. We already see this, right? So now see, here in this case, if 1 inch is equals to 2.54 centimeter, then I need to multiply 0.39, okay, to convert into inches. So when you will multiply this here, then you will get the answer. So 0.25 into 0.39 centimeter, so you will get 1 inch only. You can calculate also. Okay, so just remember this, that you need to multiply 0.39 with centimeter unit. Okay, with centimeter unit you need to multiply. Okay, see the next question, that which of the following is not a fundamental SI unit. Now you already know what are the SI units, what are the fundamental units, right? You already know supplementary units. So kilogram, ampere, Newton, Kelvin. So you know kilogram, ampere and Kelvin are fundamental one, but the Newton is not fundamental. Okay, so answer is Newton. Okay, see this now, as per unit value, the correct descending order for energy units. Okay, so these four are units of energy: kilowatt hour, calorie, electron volt and erg. Now we need to arrange them in descending order, means from highest to lowest, right? From highest to lowest. So now the problem is that we need to convert all the units, okay, or we need to remember all the units in one form, in one common unit. Okay, so the common unit, or I can say SI unit of energy is what? Joules. Okay, so I will start with kilowatt hour. So I know that 1 kilowatt hour is nothing but your 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules. Okay, then second, suppose calorie. So 1 calorie it's 4.186 joules. Then let's take electron volt. Okay, EV, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 9 J. Those who are from EC, they already by heart these things, right? Then ERG, that is your 10 raised to minus 7 joules. Okay, so all are in common unit joule now. So based on these values we can arrange from highest to lowest. So let's check what is the highest. See here 1.6 is there, but into 10 raised to minus 9. Okay, 10 raised to minus 9 means 1.6 upon 10 raised to 10 means 9 zeros. Okay, like that. Here it is positive power, means definitely this is very high. Okay, this is very high. So in all options kilowatt hour is the first priority. So okay, we can't eliminate the option till now. So first is this. Second, if you observe carefully, then these are negative ones, these are negative ones. Here it is positive, right? Here it is positive. So second is calorie. So see, option B is eliminated. Only A, C and D remaining now. Okay, the third one is having 10 raised to minus 7 and 10 raised to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 9. So definitely it's ERG. Okay, ERG, or you can just convert this electron volt into this also. See, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 9, right? So what I can do, this is nothing but your 16 into 10 raised to minus 10. Okay, so just get the 3 zeros. So this will be your 0.016 into 10 raised to minus 7. Okay, so now if you compare, here you have 0.016 and here you have 1. Okay, nothing means 1 na, write this. So definitely ERG is larger, and then in last we have electron volt. So correct sequence is this, that is C. Okay, option A you can eliminate now. So this is the perfect answer for this question from descending order. If they ask you ascending, then first electron volt, ERG, calorie, kilowatt hour is the last, right? From smaller to larger. So this is the very important thing you need to remember. Okay, so these are all the questions. Okay, now let's come to our today's topic, that is your motion. Okay, now suppose one train is there. Okay, this is the train, Vande Bharat Express, you know already. Okay, the train is standing on the platform. This is the platform basically. The train is standing. Okay, it is not departed yet. So we can say the train is in rest. The train is in rest position. Okay, you come to platform and you are just it is 1 hour gone. You are observing that train is still not moving. 2 hour gone, 3 hour gone. Okay, means time is advancing, but the train position is remain same. Okay, means position does not change with respect to time. This is called the rest position of the object. Rest position of object. Here train is our object. Okay, here train is our object. Now suppose this train is moving now. Okay, this train moving and it goes from the station, and now it is just we have in particular time, in one time Okay, in one time we have say 5 kilometer per hour speed. In second time, in 1 hour, in second hour we have 10 kilometer per hour speed. Okay, like that train is moving at this speed. So this is called your motion. Okay, means position is changing. Okay, earlier it was at this station, but now after 1 hour it is here, after 2 hour it is here. Okay, so this much distance is traveled by the train. So when your position, or I can say distance also, right, position is changing with respect to time, then it is called your motion. So there will be rest position of object and motion position of your object. Okay, and these are the two things basically which are depend on the observer. If you recall what I told you, you are at the station, you are standing here and you are observing. Okay, so you are observing that train is standing, means you will say the train is in rest. Okay, when train is moving, you will say train is moving now, so train is in the motion. But the passengers which are in the train, okay, the passengers which are in the train, they will observe, they will say the train is in the rest for them, because they are in the train, right, they are in the train, so they will say the train is in the rest. But the observer, the outside people will say the train is in the motion, because train is moving. Okay, train is moving like that. So this thing you have to remember. So based on this, there are two types I can say for the motion. One is your uniform and other is your non-uniform motion. Okay, very simple. See, now whenever I will just compare the distance and time. Suppose in 1 hour 10 cover 10 meter distance. In 2 hour, okay, this is a hour, just like this. In 2 hour also 10 meter. In 3 hour also 10 meter. In 4th hour also 10 meter. Okay, so you can observe that for equal time interval, okay, for equal time interval of 1 hour, I am considering that this 1 hour, this 1 hour, this 1 hour, train traveling equal distance, train traveling equal distance. See, for this 1 hour 10 meter, then for this 1 hour 10 meter, for this 1 hour again 10 meter, for this 1 hour again 10 meter. Okay, so whenever there is equal distance and equal time, then you can say it is in uniform motion. Okay, uniform motion. Okay, that is, I can say, same speed, because you know in numerical ability we will see that speed is nothing but your distance upon time. This thing we already know, right? So at the same speed, you can see calculate the speed also. I will take here kilometer because I am taking hour. So 10 kilometer per hour. Okay, then 10 kilometer per hour, like that. Similarly, now if the distance traveled by train is unequal, okay, means for example, suppose for this 1 hour train traveled 10 kilometer. Okay, for this second hour train travel suppose 20 kilometer. Okay, here train travel 5 kilometer. So you can see the distance is not equal now, unequal distance, unequal distance. So this is called your non-uniform motion. Okay, this is the example of non-uniform motion. Compulsory remember these two things, very important for you, right? Okay, now whatever the thing you observe, we are taking again the first example, that you are on the station and you are observing train is standing. Okay, the train is standing and we will plot the graph based on this. See, this is the position versus time graph. Okay, let's observe now. So suppose the time is 0, okay, and this is your 1 hour. Your train is in the same position, it is at rest, so it is resting here. Okay, then in the next hour also, second hour, it is also resting. In the next hour also it is also resting, the same. So this is the graph. Okay, position time graph where you are of rest. This is the graph of rest, right? Now when the train is moving, so it is going like this. See, it is going like this. Okay, so now here it travels suppose 5 kilometer. Then here it travels suppose 10 kilometer. Then here at 3 hour, after 3 hour it travels 15 kilometer. Okay, so from 0 kilometer to 15 kilometer train travels in 0 to 3, means in 3 hours, total of 3 hours. Means this is the motion. Okay, this is the motion graph. But which motion, uniform or non-uniform? So you can see the difference. See, 10 minus 5, here 5 difference is there, here also 5 distance, means equal distance trail is traveling in equal interval of time. Okay, 2 minus 1, 1 hour, this is also 1 hour. So in 1 hour, 5 kilometer distance train traveling. Train travels 5 kilometer distance in 1 hour. Okay, so this is the graph of uniform motion, I can say. So this thing you need to remember. Now suppose two types of trains are there. One is local train, okay, and one is super fast train. Suppose one is super fast train. So local train halt at station A, then station B, like that, and station C. Okay. So this length, the length of this distance, the length of this distance, okay, the total of this is called your distance. You already know this. So I can say I will ask, if I ask you, then what is the distance train travel from station A to station C? So you need to know the distance of station A and station B. Suppose this is 5 kilometer. Then from station B to station C, suppose this is your 7 kilometer. Okay, so you can say the total distance traveled by the train from station A to station C is your 12, or I can say here I will take easy example, easy example. Suppose this is 3 kilometer and this is your 4 kilometer. Okay, so total distance is your 7 kilometer. So distance is nothing but what? The length of the path. Okay, this is 3 kilometer length, this is 4 kilometer length. Now if I ask you what is the displacement, very important thing. Okay, so displacement in very easy term is nothing but the shortest path. The shortest path between final position and initial position, very important. Okay, shortest path between final position and initial position. So what is the final position in our example? C. Okay, and what is the initial position? A. So suppose super fast train is there, that train will not halt at B, so directly that train goes from A to C like this. Okay, and the distance, you know, this is your right angle triangle. Okay, 3 to 4, so this is your 5 kilometer. So this is your displacement. Okay, this length is nothing but displacement, which is the shortest path from initial to final position, right? So you know now from our example what is the distance and what is the displacement. Okay, now let us understood what is the relation of distance and displacement. See, distance is nothing but your what? Speed into time, because speed is equals to distance upon time. So definitely distance is equals to speed into time, speed multiplied by time, s into t, right? Your speed is scalar quantity, time is also scalar quantity. Okay, that means does not require direction. So distance is also scalar quantity. Okay, displacement is nothing but your velocity into time, where velocity is your what? Vector quantity. Time is your scalar quantity. So vector into scalar, already we saw na, that is vector. So displacement is your vector quantity, means direction is required. So if I tell you that from station A to station C the displacement is 5 kilometer, this information is not enough, because I want direction also. So you will tell me that this is the direction. Okay, this is the direction, that is in southeast direction. Okay, we will see the direction test. Okay, don't worry at all in the reasoning part. So you will just told me that station A to station C train travel 5 kilometer. Okay, in southeast direction. So this is your vector quantity, very important. This is your vector quantity. Okay, now see, again if I take the same example here, then in this case the distance was what we are getting, 3 plus 4, 7 kilometer. Okay, and the displacement we got 5 kilometer, which obviously should be less than distance, because displacement is nothing but shortest path, shortest length. Okay, I can say. So your distance is always greater than your distance is always greater than displacement, always. Okay, very important. Okay, what happened, I don't know. Okay, so where we was, distance is always greater than your displacement. Okay, now take the second scenario. This is the first scenario. Okay, now I will take the second scenario. You will remember this, and in second scenario we will see one more thing here. Suppose train station A is there and station B is there. Okay, train starts from station A, it goes to B, again it come back from B to again A. Okay, suppose the length I can say 5 km, and here also 5 km. So total distance traveled by train from station A to B and B to A, because it again come back to A. So how much distance train will travel? This 5 plus this 5. Okay, so distance will travel how much? 10 km. 10 km. Now the thing is that, just observe carefully, what is the displacement? What is the definition of displacement? Just we saw that the shortest path between final position and initial position. Okay, shortest path. See, here the initial position is A itself, right? And final position is also A itself, station A. Okay, means from here train goes like this, again it come back to A. So in this case the displacement, obviously it will be 0. Obviously it will be 0. Okay, or you can, what you can do, see, final position means here. Okay, so from initial means from A to B, that is 5, and here 5 again, so 5 minus 5 0. Okay, in numerical form, but conceptually the initial position and final position are the same. Then your displacement is 0. There is no displacement, obviously, right? There is no displacement. So from here I am getting the second point also, that my displacement, okay, can be 0. Yes, it is possible. The displacement can be 0. Distance cannot be 0. Okay, distance cannot be 0. It is always greater than 1. Okay, it is always greater than 1. So now the first observation and the second observation, let's combine those, and we will get important thing which is very important for your exam point of view, that your distance, okay, is always greater or equal to displacement. Okay, now you will ask me, sir, you wrote display equal also, equal sign is also there. Okay, so let us consider me the third scenario, where two stations are there, again station A and station B, train traveling from station A to station B. Okay, suppose the distance is again 5 km. So I will ask you the question, what is the direction from station A to station B? You will tell me the direction, or direction is your 5 km. Okay, again I will ask you, what is the displacement? What is the displacement? See, this is the shortest path only. Okay, if train traveling like this, no, does not matter. Does not matter, because this is the shortest path only. So the displacement will be final position, that is your B to B minus A, that is your 5 minus 0. Okay, this is initial, this is final. Final why? 5 km. Initial 0 km. So 5 minus 0, 5, or directly you can say this also, total length 5. So in this case I am getting displacement also equal to 5 km, which is equals to direction. So this is the third scenario. This is the third scenario. Okay, so just remember compulsory all the three scenarios, very important, and from that we are getting this relation, which is also very important for your exam point of view. So suppose I can write this like this also, that distance upon displacement. Okay, distance upon displacement is greater than equal to 1, because 1 into displacement into displacement. Okay, from this I can get this. So this is a very important relation. So now the three things we learn from here, that distance will be your positive, which is greater than 1 or equal to 1 also. Okay, equal to 1 also. Displacement already we saw, it may be 0. Okay, negative displacement is also possible. Yes, negative displacement is also possible, and positive is also there. Okay, positive also there. Now here you will think that 0 and positive is okay, but how displacement can be negative, right? This question should be in your mind. So you already know that what is the displacement? It is the vector quantity. It is the vector quantity, and vector quantity means it is depend on the direction. Okay, so suppose you are going to from A to B. Okay, I can say this is the positive direction, and from, if station C is there, then this is the negative direction, I can say. Okay, so the sign, whether it is negative or positive, is depend on this. This is coming from, means simply through the direction only. Okay, if direction is positive, then it is positive. If direction is negative, then it is negative. So always remember this. Okay, always remember this. Okay, so this is all about your relation of displacement and distance. The next thing, that is your speed, which we already know. That is how much distance you covered in particular time. Okay, or I can say in simple language, distance upon time. Okay, but the definition of speed will be how much distance you are traveling in particular amount of time. Okay, the units will be kilometer hour also, or meter per second also. Okay, these are the two types of, directly we can convert from this also. This we will see in time and distance in numerical ability. Okay. Okay, now see the graph of distance and time. The graph of distance and time. See, suppose again this train starts moving, okay, at the speed, some speed, let's say, I don't know, but we can take the distance 5 kilometer, then 10 kilometer, then 15 kilometer in 1 hour, 2 hour and 3 hour. Okay, so graph is like this also. Graph is like this. This is increasing. Okay, train is in motion. Train is in motion. So the slope of this curve, okay, the slope of this curve give me speed. You know how to calculate slope, right? This slope is like tan theta. Tan theta is nothing but your speed, which is nothing but your distance upon time. Okay, so if I ask you in 3 hours how much distance train travel, so you will tell me 15 kilometer upon 3 hours. So the speed of train is how much? 5 kilometer per hour. 5 kilometer per hour you can observe also. See, from 1 to 2, okay, in this 1 hour train is traveling 0 to 5 kilometer. In 2 to 3, in this 1 hour also train is traveling 10 to 15, which is your 5 kilometer only. Okay, so speed is 5 kilometer per hour. So the slope always give you the speed. Okay, slope is always giving you the speed. Okay, now I will ask you the single question. Okay, you are you will get 10 seconds of time to think on this. So just pay attention here now. Distance upon time graph. Okay, two trains are there. One train is this and the other train is this. Okay, suppose this is your train A, this is your train A, and this is your train B. Now which train is fastest train? Which train is traveling fast? You need to answer me this. Okay, just time start now. Just 10 seconds you have. Okay, so time stop now. Okay, just observe now. I hope you got the answer. Now you need to check the answer. See, here train is it here. Okay, the distance train travel by train is this from 0, and this is the time. This is the time. Okay, suppose this is your let's say some t1 time. Okay, t1 time, and this is your d1 distance. Now in t1 time, if A travel d1 distance, but here if you observe in the same time, okay, in the same time train B travel only this distance, that is suppose the d1 by 4, okay, 1/4 of d1. So it is clear that your train A is faster. Okay, it is clear that your train is faster. If you are getting the answer, then you got the concept of this distance and time graph. Okay, now the second thing here you need to observe carefully. Second way you can take the answer. See, this angle theta, okay, and this is the angle theta. Theta A I can say, and theta B. Okay, so you can clearly observe that theta A angle is very greater. Theta A angle is greater than theta B, and I already told you that the distance and time graph or slope gives me the speed. Okay, this slope giving me speed. So this is your speed of train A, which is greater than your speed of train B, and that's why your answer will be speed of train A. This is the fastest train. Okay, so this already asked question in your RRB NTPC and Group D also. Okay, so they may ask you in DFCCL also, so you need to prepare for this. Okay, now the speed. Okay, now the speed is your again scalar quantity, because your distance and time and scalar. Now let's get to the vector. Let's take the vector quantity, which is your velocity. Okay, here in speed direction is not required, but in velocity it's similar to speed. Basically velocity is similar to speed only, but here we require direction. Okay, in which direction the object is moving, this we require. So definition of velocity is nothing but your displacement upon time. What is the definition of speed? Distance travel in particular time, but here the definition is your displacement upon time. Okay, and similarly we saw for direction time graph, we will again see for now displacement and time graph, where I am getting the slope as a velocity. So they will ask you the same question, okay, that I ask you, that which train is faster, train A and train B, but they will just modify, they may just modify the question like which train have the highest velocity, okay, train A or train B, like this only. So concept will remain always same. Okay, concept will remain always same. Okay, now the next term, you should also know the average speed. Okay, you should also know the average speed, that is your total distance travel upon total time. Okay, total time. Average speed means we take the average, because suppose one journey is there, okay, from 0 to suppose 10 hours. In 1 hour the distance is 5 meter covered. Okay, in the next hour distance is 15 meter, like this. So it is very difficult for us to calculate. So in this case we calculate average speed of the train. Okay, average speed of the train, because here in each hour the speed is varying. Here speed is different. Here speed is 5 km per hour. Okay, here speed is your 15 km per hour, like this. Speed is varying. So in that case we take the average speed, and similarly average velocity is also there. Average velocity, which is your total, what will be in place of distance, displacement upon total time. Okay, upon total time. Okay, now the next term which is very important for you, that is your acceleration. That is your acceleration. Now see, the simple meaning that in car also or in bike also, you know, okay, there is an accelerator. When you press that, the speed is increased, or again it may speed also decrease, right? Accelerator, what accelerator do? It decrease or increase the speed. Similarly here the meaning is same, that whenever your speed is increase or decrease, okay, then there is a acceleration. Okay, so in this case, when the speed is constant, okay, when the speed is constant but direction is changing, then also I can say there is acceleration. Okay, so acceleration in three cases: speed increase, speed decrease, and speed constant, but given that direction is changed. Okay, and if direction is also constant, then obviously acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0 if the direction is constant along with the speed. Okay, now see the definition of acceleration. Okay, it is nothing but the change of rate, the rate of change of velocity. Okay, means velocity is changing. So here we want final velocity, okay, minus initial velocity we want, because we want the rate of change, right? So final and initial velocity we want, divided by what? Time, obviously. Per time also only we will change now, rate na, per time only we will check. So the definition will be, see, now here final velocity is denoted by the symbol V, okay, and initial velocity is denoted by the symbol U, and T, time obviously by T. So this is the acceleration formula, I can say. Okay, this is the acceleration formula. Now in this case the velocity is obviously vector quantity, time is scalar quantity. You know, vector upon scalar is nothing but your vector quantity only. So acceleration is nothing but your vector quantity. This is the main reason that whenever the speed is constant, direction is changing, the acceleration is there. Okay, because acceleration depend on direction also. And if direction is 0, then definitely there is no acceleration. Acceleration is 0. Okay, so if I draw the velocity and time graph, then I will get the acceleration as a slope. Okay, so this slope will give me the acceleration. Okay, now see, suppose you are throwing one ball from the ground, this is the ground level, okay, to the up. So you are throwing the ball, okay, like this, you throw, ball comes here, okay, ball comes here, and because of obviously due to gravity, it again goes down. Okay, so it is again go down like this, like this, like this. Okay, now let us understand what is happening here basically. So suppose you are throwing the ball at a speed of so let's say 100 meter per second. Okay, 100 meter per second. So gravity is opposing the ball, right? So here your speed is full, that you are throwing the ball at a full power. So it is going like this, like this. Okay, so 80, 60, 40, like this. Then here this is the maximum height at which the ball is present, right? And here now it is 0, the distance is 0, and again from here in this position again the ball is going down, going down, going down. Okay, and now obviously gravity also support the speed of ball, so speed of ball is like 0, then you have 10 meter per second, then 20 meter per second, like this, then 50, and then 100. Okay, and it will bounce on the ground. So this is due to acceleration due to gravity. Okay, we called it acceleration due to gravity. So gravity also plays very important role in acceleration. Okay, so these are the things we should remember. Now few graphs are there which you need to remember. So suppose again we will take the example of our same train. The train is not moving. Okay, train is not moving. It is a similar to it is standing. Okay, in the same position. 1 hour gone, 2 hour again gone, 3 hour again gone, like this. So this is, you already know that what is this? This is your uniform motion. Okay, uniform motion. Or I can say the simple example that train is traveling a constant distance. I can also say this. Okay, train is also traveling the same distance. This is displacement. Okay, so now in this case, what is the acceleration? What is the acceleration? I already told you, whenever the displacement over time means speed. See, in 1 hour also the train is traveling. Okay, train is traveling. So train is traveling at 10 meter per hour. Then here also 10 meter per hour, 10 meter per hour, like that. So, but the direction is same. See, okay, there is no change in direction. So due to this, acceleration is 0, because what I told you, that velocity. Okay, if velocity is constant, for acceleration I will take velocity, okay, instead of speed. So velocity is constant here, and direction is also not changing, direction is also constant. So in this case we have 0 acceleration. Okay, so in the uniform motion, this case. Now the second case, if I take it like this, that now train is moving and it is going like this, like this, like this. See, okay, so in 1 hour it cover 5, 2 hour 10 kilometer, and 3 hour it cover 15 kilometer. 15 kilometer. Then in this case now again the direction is same. See, again the direction is same, in this direction only. There is no changing. There is no changing, and speed is also same. See, 5 meter distance in 1 hour. Here also 5 meter distance in 1 hour. This is distance and time graph, right? Distance and time graph. So speed is again constant, or I can say velocity is again constant, and your direction is again constant. So in this case also your acceleration is 0. Your acceleration is 0. Okay. Suppose now if I will take the third graph of displacement and time, and it is going like this now. Okay, like this. So here, see, definitely you can observe that equal distance and equal time is not there. Okay, equal distance and equal time is not there. So in this case your acceleration is there. Your acceleration is there because the direction is changing. See, the direction is like this, like this. Here it is changing now. See, again it is going like this. So this is your called positive acceleration. Graph is definitely non-uniform. Okay, because here suppose it is traveling 5, 10. Now here to here it take 20. Then here to here again it take suppose 30. Okay, and then in this portion it will take suppose 28, like this. So it is your what? Non-uniform motion. It is not uniform. Okay, the speed is varying with respect to time, or I can say position is varying. Again, the negative acceleration is also there. So what is the graph of negative acceleration? It is like this. Okay, so see, it is going like this. Direction is changing. Here it direction is changing. Okay, direction changes. Also you can see the displacement and time. Here suppose 5 kilometer again, here 10. Okay, this is the maximum height here. So this is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Now again here the distance or direction is travel is this, suppose 6 meter. Okay, at 4 hour. So this is also non-uniform. This is also non-uniform. Okay, and as it goes to the downside, as direction is going to the downside, due to which it is called your negative acceleration. Negative acceleration. Okay, also it is called retardation. The another name is your retardation. So this thing you need to remember compulsory. Okay, these 4 types of graph compulsory remember. They may ask you directly the graph, and they will ask you the what is the acceleration, positive, negative, like that. Any question they will ask you. Okay, any question they can ask you. Okay, so we will stop now for today. We will again continue our discussion of motion. Your work is to complete the motion chapter completely, okay, by reading from the Lucent book or any other book you have. Okay, so tomorrow again we continue our discussion. If you have any query, any doubt, then definitely you are free to comment. Connect to the Telegram channel if you did not connect yet, okay, because it is very important. And keep preparing, and I will meet you in the next class. All the best.